So I'm getting somewhere on setting up a bit of a wellness center prototype. I did a quick snapshot of what it looked like before, and now I've sort of organized this stuff into areas. Those are my couch cushions. The couch isn't here yet. Mini trampoline. I'm gonna make this area like a seating area plus where the TV is for watching healthy stuff, and then also put all my workout stuff, and I have sort of a crappy elliptical machine and thing. So I'm gonna set that up here. Not sure about here, I might leave those things there. I'm not, or put them somewhere else. Those are cleaning supplies and stuff. This is all for my office, which I'm gonna set it up like a resource center prototype. So imagining people would wanna come in and research alternatives to mental health and what we're told to think about the process. And in my first experience of psychosis, I met this man who told me to build the dream center where people can get off drugs and get meaningful work and blah blah blah. That's a whole different story, but I want to create this as a mini dream center. And even though this is my own personal living space, I'm going to imagine that it's a space created for other people to share in, even though that's not going to happen because there's people living upstairs that wouldn't approve of that. But I feel like since my stuff has been in storage for a year, this way I'll kind of go through what I have. And a lot of what I've kept, it's sort of imagining having some kind of creative center. So I feel like if I create that, at least for myself, then I'll have kind of created it as a prototype, and I can share what I have and why, and what I don't have and why, which will probably be, I'm not yet going to buy it, and maybe it's something that would be bought through the process of actually creating something for real. So this space, to me, would be about exploring aspects of oneself that the mental health system, I find, doesn't really address. And others feel the same way too. Certain advocates in mental health feel there's certain things that aren't addressed. One thing this won't address that does need to be addressed is psychotherapy, or things that are up and coming like MDMA, psychedelic assisted trauma therapy and things. So that's not going to be something that happens in this kind of space. Hopefully there'd be a retreat space one day for that, where people can go and really heal. This is, I feel, kind of like a clubhouse in a way, but not really. So the aspects that are important here that I think I could change this along the way are wellness. And I'm talking real wellness, getting into things like plant-based diets. And of course it's self-directed, so someone doesn't have to do that, but this would be a vegetarian space for sure. Really super healthy meals. So providing meals and learning how to cook meals together that are really, really healthy, because a lot of times it's hard to, and learning to do that on a budget and blah, blah, blah. So wellness, all aspects of wellness, and that'll be easier to talk about when I have some stuff set up. And then creativity. So oftentimes we're very creative, and there's creative activities in other parts of the mental health system, but what about just a creative space that is kind of like this creative playground for people to explore? Not, okay, this is card making group, but here's a space with all these different things. What do you come up with? And it could be kind of fun. And also spirituality. This is something I've felt pretty strongly about, less so over the years as I've sort of mellowed into what is available, but that's not really addressed, and there's a lot of great books on that and great videos and people talking about it. So an area to watch that and explore that type of content, because it's not something that's going to come from a clinician, and they're not trained to know that, and they might actually suppress that. It's suppressed in the psych wards. I won't go into that now, but also The other thing is meaning making, and that's tied into spirituality. One might make meaning out of their experience, just like we make meaning out of our dreams. Like, what did that mean? Oh, it's the same thing with extreme states of consciousness that might be labeled as psychosis. So that ties into the reading and things, and having access to alternative resources. And I was watching a video by Ron Unger, who totally gets it, and he was talking about people who are radical mental health writers or something, and this would be sort of a radical space. So I'm going to set it up like that for myself with the stuff that I have. There'll be stuff that's unnecessary, there'll be stuff that is necessary that I don't have, and then just go from there. So I'll be like, this is the Dream Center, and I'm in this space. It doesn't have a kitchen. It's going to have some kind of little kitchenette thing here at some point. I'm not sure when. So the thing about setting up a space for oneself, for me, I'm very sensitive to people talking and TV's on. So this space that I have right now, I can hear other things going on in the house, and when it's talking or TV noise, to me, I would liken it to that exercise when clinicians listen to a tape that would give them some experience of hearing voices. So I'm not a voice hearer, but I feel like hearing other people talking or the TV talking suppresses my brain capacity in a way that it might, to a lesser extent though, for someone who hears intrusive voices. And that's just one of my things. Other people, maybe it doesn't bother them. So I'm not sure if I will last in this space, but either way, I'm going to set it up. It's very inexpensive too, so I might end up leaving my stuff here. And since it's inexpensive, I might attempt to be somewhat of a minimalist wanderer. And I've thought about this to myself many times. So set up this space, leave my stuff here. I'm not really attached to it. I haven't had access to it for over a year. But just seeing what I have, and maybe I'll purge most of it after setting it up, or maybe I'll keep it, hoping that one day there will be some kind of creative space. We'll see. So this is going to be the resource center. There's going to be a lot of shelves and my desk, and then I'm going to set up my old big computer and see if I can get music making happening on it. It might be too old, but at least that general idea will be there. And then there's some of the workout stuff, and then of course this I wanted to set up as, it's just a closet but it's big. I wanted to set it up as a quiet room, like a meditation room, total quiet. But then when I was here and other people were here, it wasn't totally quiet. So I figured that it might be kind of useless to do that because it's not really going to be quiet. I could set it up like that to show what a space like that might look like, and I might do that if I don't have to use this for storage of like hockey gear and things, if I can put it somewhere else. So we'll see. But ideally there would be a space that's completely quiet and hopefully with windows and beautiful, maybe a dark room as well. And then bathroom, it's my personal bathroom, but there's certain aspects that can go in there as well. And then bedroom for me. And I found my Norwex Micromade spray. They have a mattress spray, which is great, but I think I ran out. This does the same sort of thing. I love this stuff because I'm not about the chemicals, which would be part of it as well. Limiting toxicities, because we can't always do that when we're out and about, driving on the highway or whatever. But when we can minimize it where we can, that really reduces the load the body has to deal with. And so I realized, I've always known for years that I'm a super health enthusiast. And so I want to share those little tidbits to maybe inspire people like me who've been diagnosed with a serious and persistent mental illness to maybe put some energy towards wellness, like really being well, because I've found at times that it initiates a positive feedback loop where wellness becomes part of recreation and fun and play, feeling more well and healthy and vibrant within the body. I'm talking physical wellness, the other stuff, that too, which mental wellness starts to feel better when we physically feel well. So I want to share some of that stuff. Sometimes I'm really unwell and I don't have the energy to really even do any of it. So that's the thing too. It's not about being perfectly well all the time. It's about doing what one can when one can and when one feels like it, when one is inspired to. And then there's going to be times where I'm eating at a fast food restaurant every day, or just eating rice for dinner because that's all I have and I can't go out and drive and get groceries. And I'm going to work on a plan for planning better for what's called relapse or crisis. So I'm going to work on that too. So there's certain aspects I'm going to work on, and certain parts that I'm going to see if it helps to prevent a relapse in the future, because I do experience that. I had a really rough winter and now I'm feeling a lot better, so I want to devote this time to setting this up, and then when the weather gets nicer, maybe just not really be here that much anyway. So yeah, lots to share. Stay tuned, and I will share the progress on this space as I go along. Thanks for watching.